me, keep a 20 on me, case emergency. Ain't no cap in my rap. Really, I know it's the truck. More profit mean extra. Emerald white off full of pressure. That cereal milk smoking right. But that Obama rant some special. Kansas City, I'm a chief. Shout out to K5 on this one. Country thinking I was hustling. I always had it on me. Booming like OJ the Juice. Till a nigga told on me. From now on, it's relentless. Ain't no love, we ain't friendly. If she want me on him. No the law, she get the business. No the law, still the motto. Empire.
Hello. Welcome in. This is Birds of a Feather Podcast with your boy Q City.
Your boy Taj Bravado.
And this is our first, second, and third round picks for your Atlanta Hawks. Come on in, sit down, enjoy the ride, get to know a little bit about us.
You done screwed up, boy.
What I mess up?
We ain't talking about the Hawks. The Hawks won't even get 3 picks.
Oh, dang. It's the Falcons. Hey, look. You got it. You got it, man. Hey, look. That's why we keep you around. You keep us on our toes, man. You know what? I'm keeping that in. I'm not even going to edit that out, bro. I'm keeping that in. I ain't redoing the intro or none of that shit, bro. Keeping that in. I like it. Hey, play as fuck up too. Like, you know what I'm saying? But nah. All right. So we're just going to take y'all through kind of our draft philosophy, where our minds are kind of looking at in terms of who's there for the draft, where we're going to get to. So come along with us, sit down, get some football insight in, see how, our minds tick and whatnot. Follow us all the way through this draft process. We will be live in Detroit. We got a bunch of content dropping for the draft, so definitely tune in for that. So, Taj, my man, you can go first, and then we'll discuss your picks, and then I'll go, and we can discuss mine. So, currently sitting at number 8, who do you have? Who are your 2 or 3 guys for the Atlanta Falcons?
All right. Probably the most obvious one probably would be a pass rusher. So, there are 2 that I think the Falcons are heavily interested in, but the one that I would probably lean to is Dallas Turner. Since we are definitively a 3-4 defense, Dallas Turner fits the mold. He's hyper athletic. He has the speed, the power that you like, and he's only 21, so he has plenty of room to develop. And if I'm just banking off of the past 3 drafts that Terry has, all his first round picks have been 21 years old. So he tends to lean toward more guys that are younger and are on an upward trajectory. So yeah, we have a clear need for a alpha pass rusher. We don't have that, and I think Dallas, I think he could get up to being one of those type of guys. Second choice, even though if we took this second choice, I would prefer it in a trade down. It would be Latu. Like the film don't lie. He has his deficiencies. He doesn't really give you much speed or power, but in terms of technique, I mean, it's teach tape. But he's athletic enough. He fits in the 3-4. He can give you the things that you are like. It's just in terms of him versus Dallas. Dallas has more upside, I believe, because Latu's he's about to be 24 in December, I believe. So a little bit of an older prospect. I'm not really the biggest fan of that, but I mean, if he produces, who cares? So I like that. And then the third option, probably it's probably the least likely of the 2 I said, but probably I'm thinking Quinyon Mitchell, a cornerback. He has scheme versatility and he fits what we like to do, or what we will be doing. We play off zone. We don't really play a lot of man, even though he played a lot of off man and press man in the Senior Bowl. But he's athletic, good size, ball skills, and he has good instincts. So and we have a need at corner. I don't think that will be the priority, but that's just the third option that I can see. Or you could fill it in with another different corner, but I think he's the best corner in the draft.
All right, so you got us going DN, D tackle, or corner. Obviously, we're looking defense heavily at that eighth pick. I can't say I disagree with you there, right? I think there's pretty sound reasoning on all fronts. The one thing I would think is that based upon your like Dallas Turner kind of fits there, but based upon your other two picks, what is your thinking on the Falcons moving down? Because it seems like both those players kind of fit, but maybe not at 8.
Yeah, because the way this draft is leaning up for like what we need, it just if they wanted to trade down, it would make perfect sense because there's going to be somebody because like say there's a world where like one of these top 3 receivers like either a Malik Neighbors or a Rome Odunze sitting there at 8. I mean, they could very well just say fuck it, we gonna take him and we gonna just give Kirk all of these weapons. But I think more realistically, they're kind of be like, all right, let's see who we can coerce into moving up and we can get some extra capital out of and fill out our roster a little better. So that could either be like the Broncos, the maybe even the Raiders, hell, even the Vikings. You could probably do a trade with the Vikings to where you can get 11 to 23 and you give them like a next year second and maybe like a fourth this year or something. And that way you get 2 first, then you got a second, and you still have a third. So it's a lot of different ways. So like if the value makes sense, you're not jumping back too far to where you can still get someone you need. It makes sense, and I think those are more of the appropriate ranges for Alatu and Quinyon Mitchell.
Absolutely, I agree there, and that's the point that like I feel as fans we don't want to get too married to the idea of like having to pick at 8 because like yes you want positional value, but like you also want draft value. And if I can still get a player that fits my scheme, a player I can still consider blue chip to an extent, and I can get some capital behind it because someone wants to jump up and grab one of these quote unquote sexy positions that I've already used capital or free agent dollars on, God help me. You know what I'm saying? Let them do it and let me build something off of it. So I definitely agree there. So
So
I
what you
have
got?
3 picks. So I got 3 picks. The first one, Dallas Turner, for pretty much all the same reasons that you talked about. I definitely feel like physically he is amazing. Motor doesn't stop. Anytime you see him on film, he's moving. The one thing that I am a little wary of is that speed to power, right? So like he
He
struggled
has that.
against he does have really quick speed to power, but like he struggled a bit against like real big tackles, right? If you couldn't get around the edge on him, they were able to kind of overpower him a little bit. Didn't really expect that from his, size and measurables, but struggled just a little bit on that. So, but I don't think it'll be a huge thing at the next level, especially if they can match him up on guards. I don't think they'll stand him up too much. Um, the next person, hear me out on this one. Jared Verse, right? That's the person. Now at 8, little rich for me, right? He is my person. I would think that they need to trade back just a little bit for, and I like him as my second guy. So in this situation, Dallas Turner is already gone, or you traded back and just kind of missed out on Dallas in that situation. You know what I'm saying? Like you traded back to maybe 13, 14, and Dallas got taken at 10 or 11. It just happens that way. So Jared Verse is kind of my second guy on the board there. Can be a hand in the dirt guy, right? You can't necessarily slide him over to the D tackle, but he's got good production. He's got good body size. I definitely think that he can make an impact now. At the next level, I do not think he's going to get you the sack numbers that you want, which is why I think you should shy away from picking him at 8. But I don't think that he can't be somebody that is maybe not a game record, but impacts the game strongly, right? I think he projects to me as like a very solid starter. Um, and then my third person is my wild card pick. I was just kind of going out there. I think that the Falcons could pick the quarterback of the future early in the draft. And the only quarterback that I see that would fit that for them with their timeline on how they just paid Kirk would be JJ McCarthy, right? If for some reason he's at 8, I don't think you move up to get him, right, under any circumstance. But if he's there at 8, I think they have a long, hard discussion about getting this 20, who will be 21-year-old kid when he starts the season. If you look at what his play style is comparable to, is Alex Smith, right? Who very much like moved very well in the West Coast system. Shanahan's system's a derivative of that. It's kind of like a bastardization of that. But either way, moved very well in it. Could you get him in the system, let Kirk kind of age out and use that contract? I think that is one a pipe dream, but two very very far off. But that was my third pick in that situation.
Mm-hmm. Um, like the first one. The second one, I just don't know if he's a 3-4 guy. I don't know how comfortable I am with Verse standing up because they were asking him to do that a little more. And I don't know about his coverage capability, so that's why I like him. I just don't know about his fit with the defense. And JJ, I mean, I see the theory in the quarterback. He wouldn't be my choice, but I mean, I see the logic behind it. So
All right. So now we're out of the first round. Now we get into what makes Terry, what makes a team. You get into the meat and potatoes of it. Now we're getting into day 2, right? Everybody's had the sexy picks, everybody's worn the hats, they've had all the celebrations. Now it's like, all right, now we got to build the team, right? So you're looking in the second round. Where are you looking at for the Falcons?
all right, so just for the sake of a scenario, we're going to say we take either Latu or Turner. So second round, you could be looking at either a corner, a receiver, or maybe just somewhere along safety. Maybe it's a lot of different ways you can kind of address that. But I'm gonna lean toward either a corner. Well, I'm probably gonna lean receiver in the second. Now cornerback. I mean, it depends on who's there. Like obviously, if you got someone like Kool-Aid McKinstry, it's unlikely. But I mean, with
I don't think it's all that unlikely, bro.
I mean, it's just, yeah, because with the way his draft process has been playing out, it looks like he could potentially slide to the second round. So I could see them, making Terry loves to do that day 2 trade up to where we can trade up and get him in the second.
Mm-hmm.
So Kool-Aid McKinstry would probably be my first choice because it's at first I thought it wasn't possible, but now it's seeming like it's not zero. So I like that. Another option would be a receiver. So the receivers that you could go with, there's a couple of different options. I like Lad McConkey. I like Ricky Parasol from Florida, but I also like Xavier Leggett from South Carolina. Now the thing is, as much as I like Leggett, he is very raw and very much a project at this point. He has all the physical talent in the world, but it will make sense. Now, with the way that this offense is going to look, the Rams do not use like your traditional X. So, like in this offense, Drake London is not going to be your X. He's going to be your Z. I mean, Mooney could be the X, but you could also bring in. They tend to value guys with speed at the X position, and then use Drake London as the move guy. So you could bring in like a Leggett. If just hey, we gonna put you at the X. We just want you to run fast and use your physical gifts to do whatever. So it would make sense. But I think. You know what? Yeah, I do like Leggett. I do like Leggett as my other option. And then I also like Lad McConkey. But I think I like Ricky Parris a little bit more. So yeah, the day two. I mean, the second round choices I probably lean toward will be a Kool-Aid McKinstry, and that will most likely be a small trade up or a Xavier Leggett or a Ricky Parris.
All right. So one, I feel like you're cheating off my board because like we are kind of like hand to hand on a lot of these here. So trying to think of a good question here. I really don't have one, right? So like we're picking at 43. I think Kool-Aid is gonna go between 37 and 40. So like you said, it'd be a small move up, right? I think whichever of these five quarterbacks doesn't get picked, um, is going to be off the board in the first four or five picks on day two. So that takes a little time there. I think there's going to be a run on corners and a run on wide receivers in this round. So like, your draft strategy is pretty sound there. Um, my names, the draft strategy, I 100% agree with. The names for me are just slightly different. So Kool-Aid McKinstry, yeah. The film is good for him. The film is good. And I think this whole testing process is everyone second guessing what your eyes have been telling you for the past 3 years. You know what I'm saying? And he's fallen like a rock down boards, and I would love to add him. I would love to add him. Another guy, tested kind of well, but honestly, it's gonna sound weird. I think it's racism, Doug. But Cooper DeJean, like he has not been mocked in the first round for a while. Like
that's the name I
pe-
forgot to add.
yeah, people have been.
About him.
Yeah, at first he was hanging around the 16 mark. Then he was kind of hanging around the 20 something mark. Now he's completely fallen out of the first round. I love Cooper DeJean. To an extent, I thought he was one of the best cornerbacks in the draft at the beginning of this process. I don't, it's something to me that's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's something to me that's kind of crazy, bro, is that like the film doesn't change from the beginning of the year to the end of the, like from the beginning of this process to the end of this process. The film doesn't change. Like they don't play another game. So like
I think it's just mostly just like fatigue. Like you get prospect fatigue, and it's just like, all right, what's the new thing? Like I'm tired of talking about this same person. What's the new thing? Give me something new. And like people just get bored. It's human nature.
Yeah, I can completely agree with. I actually didn't think about Leggett. I didn't think about Xavier Leggett, but my mindset was the same on the speed aspect of it. And so this is where I thought Adonai Mitchell would be a great addition. Learning learning under Mooney, and two, those two could still be on the field at the same time. You move Mooney up to the inside, right, and let him work the slot. So that was my thinking there. But yeah, corner or wide receiver, I would be okay with safety. I didn't have a hold on. I had a name. I would be okay with safety. I think my highest rated one still left at this point in time was Jaden Hicks. I don't think he fits us as a safety. No. Yeah, nah. So like, and he's my highest rated one left. That's my highest rated one. So I'd be okay not going safety right now. You know what I'm saying? We spent a lot of money on the offensive side of the ball, wide receiver specifically, right? So like I understand where there's a little recoil on then double dipping and using draft assets on a wide receiver. But one, you got to realize we signed a lot of these guys to 3 year deals. Those are really in essence 2 year deals, right? That's first and foremost. Those are really in essence 2 year deals, and then you can avoid the last year. If you go ahead and draft somebody, then come next year, they're good and ready to play. One, you can make a decision to eat some dead money, or two, you have a fully functional wide receiver and two guys in their contract year. You know what I'm saying? Also, you're gonna have to make a decision on Drake. So like it makes sense to bolster your receiving ranks and to do so early rather than late.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because it's just a deep class, so it makes sense to get in on that action because like Drake London and Mooney are the only ones on contract after this season.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to just make a decision on Rondell Moore, and then everyone else is just 1 year deal. So, I mean, obviously Pitts is going to be part of that receiver room, but in a different way. So, but yeah,
All right. So now we're going to third round. Just straight up and honestly, like no one here is a fortune teller enough to know exactly how all these picks are gonna go. So at this point in time, it's really just more so what kind of process prospects do you like? What are you looking for around this pick? And then what prospects do you like that kind of fit this pick?
okay. So, um, we got two picks in the third round too. So,
Mm-hmm. 74 and 79.
there's one person there's one person in particular that if he was there in the third, I would take him, and that's Spencer Rattler. Yeah, he's going to be 24 when the season starts, but he still is, I mean, quarterbacks play forever now. So if you could let him sit for a year, 2 years, learning under Kirk, I think he has all the talent that you would need for a quarterback. He has adequate arm strength. He has the arm angle. He's performed in a pro style offense the past 2 years. The only reason his numbers didn't look as great is because the team sucks. If he was on a better team, then the conversation on Rattler would be a whole lot better outside of the whole Caleb Williams thing.
Now he was
So
thrown to an
he's,
NFL wide receiver.
I mean, yeah, but that was his first year of actual production. He ain't did nothing in what 4 years of college. This is the first year doing anything, having more than 30 targets. So yeah, so he will be one option. Another option would probably be a developmental tackle. Jake's not getting any younger. Caleb McGarry. After this season, you can move on if you want to. So if you can find hit on a tackle in the third round, I don't really have many names. Just one name I know. Dude from I think BYU. Amaji. I think.
Kingsley
Forgive me if I'm
Sumatia.
mispronouncing that. No.
Kingsley Sumatia.
I don't think that's the name. It might not be. It might be no Yale. Amaji. He's the tackle from Yale.
Yeah, Amaji.
So
Kieran Amaji.
yeah. So he's someone if he was there in the third, or just any tackle with an athletic profile, that has the adequate arm length and hand size and all that other good stuff that you like. Yeah, because you have a decision on you can make a decision on Caleb McGarry after this upcoming season because he signed a 3 year deal. And this will be the second year of that. So you can either move on from him or just let him play at the final year of his contract. I'm led more so to think that they might let him go, but I mean, it ultimately depends on what the plan is for his replacement. And if they get
Yeah.
someone in the third round, then I think that he could possibly be out the door. So, and then the other option would just be just adding the D tackle. unfortunate the dude got arrested today for a DWI, but
My boy
Sweat
from
would be a nice
Texas.
person
Yeah.
in the third. Yeah, he'll be a nice
Yeah.
pickup in the third round. I as long as he
Just
don't got
stupid.
character issues,
Just
that
stupid.
was just stupid. That was just stupid. But as long as he don't got any like other major character issues, a third round pick because Bijan play with him, so I'm pretty sure they'll ask Bijan about his character and things of that
Mm-hmm.
nature. And if it makes sense, you could bring him in because Grady's about to be 31, 32.
Coming off
Anya
ACL.
Mata's 31, 32. So like you got a lot of old heads in the tackle room, and then you got with Contavious Street who we signed back, and then Eddie Goldman unretired for the third time, and we don't know if he's playing or not. So yeah, so we could definitely stand to add a young D tackle because I don't know what they're going to do with Graham. I don't know what they're going to do with Taquan Graham. Like I think he has upside, but I mean I think this is about to be the last year of his contract or the year after that.
Yeah, and
So
he was barely rotational last year.
yeah, well, he was unhealthy for the first part, but I mean he worked back in. But for the most part, yeah, he wasn't much of a. Not he really wasn't in the rotation much.
He was barely
That,
rotational.
but I mean that could. But the year before that with Pease, he played more, so it could have been a scheme thing.
Which is true. Which is true. He did play with Pease, but he was also drafted by Pease. You know what I'm saying? Well, drafted while
And-
Pease was defensive coordinator. So
Yeah, so we're going back to a 3-4 defense, so he'll be more, in a. Even though I look at it 3-4, 4-3, I mean, D line to me, but I understand the responsibilities are slightly different. Because he preferred bigger edges, so that's why you have people like Calais on the edge. So yeah, so I'm looking at quarterback, developmental tackle, or a developmental D lineman. Or just in case you just see someone that just falls that you just don't expect to be there.
So
There's a lot of different
for
ways you
me,
can go about it, though.
I feel like one, we could fall into a very similar situation that we fell into with Ritter, right? So if you look back at that draft, Kenny Pickett went in the first round, right? And then you had what's my boy out of Liberty?
Malik Willis.
Malik Willis, right? Falling like a rock. And everybody expected Malik Willis to go before Desmond Ritter, right? Falcons go through their second round. All of a sudden, Ritter's sitting there in the third round, right? Very high grade on him. You know what I'm saying? We waxed poetic about him during the season. He's got the physical tools. So you saw somebody there, and it's kind of like, this is very clearly the highest player on the board. Like, we got to go ahead and take him. So I feel like that gives credence to your Spencer Rattler moment, but I also feel like that kind of puts us in a position. Everybody's hyping up these 5 quarterbacks, right? What happens if the medical scares off a lot of teams on Michael Penix Jr. and all of a sudden at pick 70, or not even 70, where are we at? No, it is
74,
70.
75.
Yeah. At pick 74, you're sitting there staring at Michael Penix Jr. You know what I'm saying? Like, for
They
everything
clearly
I
like him.
love. For everything I
They
love,
clearly
nobody,
like
we
him.
better not pick Bo Nix. We better not pick Bo Nix under any circumstance. We better not pick Bo Nix. I don't care if it's in the 7th round. But like, what happens if you're staring at a highly rated quarterback at that point in time? You know what I'm saying? So I think that gives a lot of credence to what you're talking about. Age be damned. It's kind of just like, we gotta take this guy.
Like the
T'Vondre
quarterback,
Sweat.
it's all about just taking swings. You got to just keep taking swings until you hit. So
T'Vondre Sweat he's still 100% my guy. Stupid. You understand me? Like, drinking and driving is stupid. Kids don't do it. But what makes it even more stupid is that this is the biggest job interview process that you're ever going to go through. You know what I'm saying? Like, people nowadays, you talk about the job market. I'm going on a tangent. Y'all know me. But people nowadays, they talk about the job market, right? And they talk about, oh, you gotta do an interview, then they call you back, you do another interview, then they call you back, you do another interview, and like, yeah, they're jerking your chain. You know what I'm saying? They put you through 4 or 5 panels just to give you a job that's paying $50,000 a year. Yeah, it's crap. I get it, you guys, right? But like the NFL has always been that way. From the time you finish your last collegiate game, you are in the interview process. From the end of your bowl game in December, like right before Christmas, you know, if you're a crappy team, it's right before Christmas. If he was in the college football playoff, so his last was like the first week of January, you are in a job interview. You are in multiple panels. You have the Senior Bowl panel. You have the NFL draft. You have the NFL Combine panel. You have your Pro Day panel, and then you have little mini check-ins every single day.
Yeah.
You cannot, during your job interview process, get a DUI.
At all.
Like, and expect it not to affect your job prospects, bro. Like, I really hope there's nothing else. I really hope there's nothing else character-wise about it. But like, I really was looking forward to him. He's a Woodland winner. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's good. The other name was the kid out of Michigan, Chris Jenkins.
Oh yeah, Junior. Yeah.
Yeah, I like him. If we go corner in the second round and we're still looking for wide receivers, we're kind of on the back end of wide receivers. I like Luke McCaffrey. Good genes.
Yeah, I like
you
him
know
too.
what I'm saying? And he's highly productive. But granted, it's Rice. You know what I'm saying? But he is highly productive.
The pedigree just leads me to believe he'd be fine though. So
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like he'll figure it out. Kingsley Suamatia, that was the BYU tackle. I like him. I was kind of surprised when you said him because you kind of have a thing about converted tackles to guards if they're going to be your swing tackle. You're like, it's kind of a waste. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I'm guessing you went with the other guy. But like Kingsley is measured slightly small, so like you could convert him to guard, like arm wise and whatnot. You could convert him to guard, and he came out super early. He's a redshirt sophomore. That's kind of like
yeah, that's a true junior. That is early.
Yeah, so he came out early. I still think that he can definitely benefit the team. I would like him. And then last but not least, I gotta go with my boy. If we choose to wait to the third round for safeties, I feel like we are officially in Cam Kitchens territory, right?
I like
now
him,
maybe
but
not
I
with
like
the
better.
not with the first third round pick. Which one?
No, I like one. Big boy. I like the other Miami safety. No, the 6'5" one. I think it was Jimmy Richardson or Robinson or something. Not Jimmy. James. I know what's not. It ain't Cam. I know it's not Cam. James. I forget his name, but I know he's 6'5", 240. But he gives me Cam Chancellor vibes.
You are talking about the other safety. I like Cam though. Like Cam in this situation, he's not going in the third round.
No. I ain't saying. I'm not saying in the third. I'm just saying I like the other safety. That's all I was saying. He'll probably be like a fourth, maybe fifth round pick. If they took him, I'll be happy. There we go, James Williams. I was way off,
James.
But yeah.
Yes, way off. James Williams. Yep. Yeah, but I think Cam is has a good chance right there. Or if we're still looking if we're still looking at another Georgia safety. I forgot his name.
Bullet.
One sec.
I think you're talking about Bullet. He compares favorably to Buda Baker. I think it's Javon Bullock. I think.
I was going Tyke Smith.
Oh, okay. That's not the safety I was talking about. Okay.
Mm-mm. He's back up. He can play it. Bullock's more of a hitter.
Yeah, he's coverage.
But like
he can cover. But I mean,
then we got. Man, they got Lassiter going this late? I don't believe that. Anyway, really boils down to the fact that like we can go multiple different positions in the third round. It does highly depend on what we do in the first two. But I think at this point in time, we're looking to build the lines, right? Defensive or offensive tackle. It looks like Sweat might be available during this point in time because of that foolishness that he pulled. So, you know, if everything else checks out, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind getting him.
yeah, same.
So, you guys, let us know what y'all thought about a couple of our picks. We definitely want to hear from y'all. Hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, Snap. No, we don't have Snapchat. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Birds of a Feather, BOAF Media. The link tree is on all descriptive platforms, so check us out, the YouTube, all that good jazz. Love to hear from you. Put y'all in the City Talk so we can get y'all feedback. This has been your boy Q City.
Your boy Taj Bravado.
And we out.
Peace.
El Chapo, looking like I hit the lotto. I want a hottie like mulatto. I'm on here and she on Moscato. I'm in them good till tomorrow. I'm a robber for the Neros. Yo, little laws, I'ma put you on payroll. You smell that aroma? Design the air, it's a party, yeah. Papa Corona, she moving the body, she working them heels. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what you telling me. Keep a 20 on me, case emergency. I wake up early every morning. Thank the Lord and get the bag. Hustle hard, get the cash. Stack first, then I'm showing my ass. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what you telling me. Keep a 20 on me, case emergency.
My babies, that's who I grind for. That's who I do it for. Like the Navy, that's who I'm toting that iron for. Keep one in the head like a thought, nigga. Yeah, I fuck with Ty, he a boss, nigga. Foot on their neck, I exhaust, nigga. Niggas cross me, so I cross, nigga. No stripper was lit last night. 500, what it cost, nigga. Shit was really legit last night. Had them hoes at the house, nigga. Instagram, Snapchat, Triller. What they say about Jay? He a go-getter. Used to have them fat sacks in the grove, nigga. Late nights, early morning, my dough, nigga.
You smell that aroma? Design the air, it's a party, yeah. Papa Corona, she moving the body, she working them heels. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what you telling me. Keep a 20